Okay, simple breakdown of file structure, I guess. You can see all the mods that I have here. Um, I don't know which ones of these you'll be adding, but for every mod other than the Days Expansion, Days Dynamic AI add-on, that you do need the key for. Expansions, though, they are all the same key. If you open them up, they all have the same key in them. Um, Days Dynamic AI add-on, you'll have to go into the keys and just make sure you have all the keys for all the mods listed. And just because the mod is listed here on mine does not mean it is active in here. When I play around with my server, a lot of times I'll just delete one and take it off of the server, but I won't uninstall it from here because it takes so long to reinstall. You can see I've got snafu weapons here twice. That's because of the server that it is on. The server is a GT. It's either the GTX server or the Ping Players server. And at first, it would not accept a mod that did not have that had a space in the name. So I removed the space, and then when it updated, I just dragged and dropped it over here, and it recopied it, and ended up with a double. But that's beside the point. What you need is to make sure you've got all the keys for all your mods in the keys folder. And then once you have established that you've got all the keys, you can start at the top. I don't know if you've got Blackout Corvettes, but you mentioned something about installing Mustangs or something. I'll show you with the Blackout Corvette what you'll need to do for the types files. Find Blackout. There it is. You'll see inside of the folders, the mods that you open up over here, you'll see that there is extra folders in them. They'll be in here too, but it's easier to work from this side of your FTP site than to copy and paste from this one. On this side, you'll want to go to your map missions, your empty PNP, empty PNW, and then your database folder. You'll see this types file. Here it has the types file and the mod Blackout Corvette. You'll need to open them up. On each mod that you install, you'll want to look for the types file. If it has a types file, you're going to need to open that. When you open that, this is what you're going to see. Now you take a good look at the numbers. Make sure they're not overpopulating that nominal number and the minimum number. You watch those and keep them low. This one's set nice enough. It's nominal 2, but this is actually quite high. Because it is 2 doors of every color vehicle there is for the Corvette. So that's going to put 2 doors of every color across the map, and you can see it's quite long. And that's just the one mod. You have other mods that are going to have another types file, and it's going to be the same way. So you want to keep them numbers in mind. And what I did was I just copied and pasted this into a new Win Notepad++, edited it, and saved it to my desktop as a backup types file for Blackout Corvette. And I changed all these numbers to 0. Just zeroed them all out, and then went through and picked out the ones that I wanted to show up. The way I have them spawning in, they spawn in complete. You might need a radiator or something, which you do not need to get from this file. It's already there in your types file. This is just going to be the doors and the tires, trunk lids, tops, and stuff. But if you go into your spawnable types, you can adjust it so that they spawn in complete. You don't have to run around and find doors. But if you want to be able to wreck a car and repair it, then you have to have this available somewhere, each part available on the map somewhere. A lot of things to consider. But once you have, what you do is you just basically go into this file and copy the whole entire thing. You just want to make note at the bottom, this type, and then again at the top it's just the type name. So then you can just copy that, close it, and open the types file on your server, the one in your database. Open the types file, and you can see I've already got it in here, probably down quite a ways, but you can see it says types. You do not want to double that. You do not want it to say types here and then type somewhere else in the file. If you do that, it's going to break it. It's going to make it not you. The server's going to have trouble with it. You don't want that doubled up. And at the very end, you're going to see it again. Types. You don't want that doubled up. You just want to make sure you got the type. Well, where to go? Having trouble seeing my sidebar. There it is. And at the top, the first part will be type name. And you can, like I showed in the other video, you can separate them so that you can find them if you want to make adjustments. Just put some space in there. And you can even do it right here at the end. Just do the arrow, exclamation point, and then name it. This is Blackout. Corvette. And I would go end. And then you would paste. I messed up by copying that, but then you would just go in here and grab everything again. Being as I can see there is no types, I already looked, it doesn't say types at the top and it doesn't say types at the bottom. I can just go ahead and select all, copy, close it, go back to the types file in the database and click paste. And now when I have installed everything, I'll be able to find where I started it and ended easier. By that. Next, when I go in, I would just start right there. I'd go down, leave the types up there, and then the first part would be the type name for the next mod, whatever it has listed. And I just do the same thing again, just copy that, paste it here, and change the name of it to end, and then do the start at the top. Once you're done with that, all your mods that are going to need that, I can point them out on here. Blackout Corvettes. Vehicles and weapons. Flip Transport has a few. Not saying you need to use those because they're just really not needed. But you can add those also. Much Stuff Pack. It's got a lot of them. Rust Forma motorcycles, Rust Forma vehicles, Snafu weapons, Code Lock. That's going to have some. And them all go into your types files. When you get into get that done with each mod, or you can do one mod at a time and do both files. Because now if I go back, I better go over here. Blackout Corvette, you're going to see this has got a types file, right? Okay, it does not have the spawnable types, so I must have created it. The spawnable types is needed. Let me get back up here. Let's find one that did have it. Snafu, where are we at? Oops. Okay. Snafu over here. Okay, this one here, it's going to be this folder. Snafu types right here for the types file. And then this is the Snafu spawnable types. This one here, you're going to have to open up also. This is what will make them spawnable on the map. Having the types file will allow you to spawn them in with the admin tools, but it will not start them spawning on the map. Wait a minute, I better shut up. I'm not sure about that right now. This is going to spawn them in on the map for sure. The types file is going to regulate how many it spawns on. Now with in this file, the spawnable types file, you can adjust the chances for the parts that are on each item. This being the rifles, this very first one is the Snafu Kavari black gun, kind of a nice gun. And attachment chance is 25% that it will have a suppressor. That's what this says. It's got a 100% chance of a suppressor if it's chosen in that 25% range. This number being 100% because it's the only one that'll fit, most likely, or whatever, but it don't matter. This chance here, if you change that to 100%, just like that, if you change that 0.25 to 1.00, it will, every single Kavari black gun that spawns in on the map will have that suppressor. And you can do that with the same, you can do that for this, all of these, but you only want all these numbers on this end to equal 100%. You don't want them to be over 100%. It can cause errors and stuff. And the attachment chance, you can go 100%, and you do not have to leave these in your spawnable types. If you put together the gun and know which part you want on that gun, you just keep that part here and delete the rest and make that one part 100%. And then that way that gun will always have that part on it when it spawns in. And that goes with each item in here. Now, like, see, they've got the 10 round MiG, a chance of 80%, and the Snafu Kavari 25 round MiG, 20% chance. Well, on my server, I swapped them numbers. I gave it the bigger MiG an 80% chance and the smaller MiG a 20% chance. So you will find the smaller MiG less times on the gun. And I also changed this to 100%. So it has a 100% chance of having one of the two MiGs. And same with the bipods, 50-50 and then 100. So it will definitely have a bipod on it. It'll just be one or the other. And you can do that with this too. You can just change that 25% to 100%, and it's going to have one of these on it. Very slim chance that it might not if these don't add up to 100%. And that goes with each rifle. So that part can take a lot of time. And if you go through the trouble of doing it, make a backup, save it to your desktop or your hard drive somewhere, because if they ever update, and they might, you may need to redo your file. Most likely not, but backups are always reasonable to have. And that spawnable types is in your empty PNW right there. And you can see that it already has, well, I guess I have already set it all up, so it's got everything in here. And you can see mine is quite long. I'm right up here, and I can go a long ways down, and I'm still in what comes with PNW. There we go. Oh, that one there is, I can see that. Gaz 3110 Volga. That's one I put in here. Hatchback 02 Blue was in here, and I didn't separate them. I know them well enough to be able to find them. Yeah, I guess. On some of the other servers I had started changing, putting brakes in them because I was editing and deleting more. If you remove the mod, you do not want these in here. It just, the system reads them. It'll slow the system down just because it's reading through them. The server will get poor performances and stuff like that because it's taking the time to read through this when it's trying to place items out on the map. But these are the Volgas, and you can see what I did in here with the little car, basically. This is a fast little car. And I changed all the percentages to 100%. So it'll spawn in with everything. The only thing you may need to do is add water. Um, it'll have the radiator, the battery, everything. The headlights, everything will be there. It'll be a complete car, but it will most likely need water. And you can adjust that by adding, like I did here. Uh, I added 2 jerry cans, so it's going to have gas in it. 2 cans of gas, and you can take the 1 can, empty it into the trunk or into the car, and then use that jerry can to get water. But it also has 1 canteen in the trunk that you can use, put it into the radiator, and then it'll give you a little extra distance. You can actually start the car up and drive it for a little ways. You just got to watch the engine light, and hopefully find a place where you can fill the jerry can before you get into the yellow engine light. You just shut the car off if you see that it's getting yellow. It's pretty much already damaged, but you should be able to just about anywhere on the map drive to a place that you can get water. Remember, you can use the snowbanks. If you find snowbanks, you can use snowbanks to fill both the canteen and the jerry can. Here you can see I did the same thing with the Corvette. Thing is, when it comes to the Corvette, you have to list this for every color. Each one has to have the color listed, and it can get complicated, but you can see I have the white one. Oh, this is the VBL. The VBL is a little different, but I've got the white one and the black one and the normal one, green. And that'll be the hatchback, which is already done. And if you don't have this file, if you don't find, like in that blackout Corvette, now it didn't have this spawnable types file in it. Now you can go to their Discord and ask for it, and you'll probably find it. But I didn't have to do that. What I did was I just copied this, pasted it, and then I went into the types file and I found the parts, the actual names for the parts, and then just highlighted the part that I found and changed it to the parts that were needed to put the car together, and then also put the name of the vehicle in here. It lists everything that you need right here. You might find that you have to add one of these lines, like for the one vehicle that has 6 tires on it. You may need to add another wheel, which is just a copy and paste that. And now you got your extra wheel. Just a matter of copying and pasting. Okay, now this file structure here, if you have installed everything, this custom folder is only if you use Days Editor to build something on the map, which you do out of game. You will not have this custom folder unless you put it here. So don't worry about that one. You'll have the database, the environment, that's your animals and stuff. You should have expansion, which I know populates by itself. It's this one here, this expansion underscore CE, that you may need to look for. I remember having to copy and paste it from one of my other servers to get it to work here. To work on a server. I don't know about this server for sure. It's been too long ago, but if you don't have this, let me know and I can help you find it. I know it's there somewhere. I found it somewhere. And you just want to make sure you have the database, the env, the expansion underscore CE, the LBD types that comes with PNW. You'll have locations. Then if you've played on the server, you'll have a storage file. If you delete this storage file, anything that you have found on the map, anything you have on your persons, anything you have built, will be gone. If you want to wipe the server, that's all you have to do is delete that folder. You just delete the whole folder, and when you start the server back up, you shut the server down, delete it, start the server back up, join the server, and it's going to be brand new. It's going to be like the first day you started it. Nothing on the map. Just what spawns in as it starts up. You won't have nothing built, nothing, no inventories, nothing stored. That's that folder. You can also open it, and you can do soft wipes. I'm not going to get into that right now because I don't remember exactly how each of these pertain to what's going on in game, and it's something that if you mess with, you can mess up big time. So basically it's just a file structure, knowing you got all your files or all your mods, all your keys from each mod, your map missions folder, empty PNW, your spawnable types if needed, and your database, your types. If you want to change the spawn on your character, it's your inetc. And I'll leave this up for a moment. This is a structure, and if I'm not mistaken, right here where it says return M player, yours will have it to that point, including that little mark there, that little whatever they call that. This and everything below it is what you would have to add to get your guys to spawn in. And you can change each one of these things just by highlighting and deleting it, and just change them basically. You don't need to give them everything. You can do whatever you want there. And there are several places to find this on GitHubs and videos. If you go to Scale Speeder on YouTube, if you look up Scale Speeder, if you do a search for inetc players spawn in, or inetc or something like that, Scale Speeder has some really good ones that you just have to actually download from his videos, and that's where I got started. Multiple ones. There's so many different ways to spawn in. Spawning in characters 3 different ways, so that you either end up with this gun or this rifle or this knife or whatever instead. Lots of ways to do that. But the basics to the spawn in are right here. What else might you need to play with? Config gameplay, I think I showed that on the other video. Being you're using Nitro, you do have to turn that on so it's being used. And then you can change your stamina max right here from 100 to whatever number you're comfortable with. 700 won't allow you to run across the entire map. If you take it to, maybe 1200, you might make it 3/4 of the way across the map. If that's 700, I think you have to rest like four times across the map. But that's something you can play with if you're not happy with having to stop and rest all the time. Once your types files and your spawnable types files are all set up, and your keys folder set up, you're not going to play with these anymore on the server. That's done. That's all done. Thing that you're going to need to play with is going to be different than what I do on this one, because of the way they set up. You're going to have this config folder, and that's where you're going to find all your settings. They're going to look exactly like my days profiles. It's going to be identical to this, and you can see I crashed, so I haven't stopped the server, so I won't be able to delete everything there. But you'll find Codes Lock has got all these are where you control your mods that you have on the server. Your settings for everything, and the main ones. The two one that you mentioned was having trouble with one of the admin tools. Well, VPP admin tools is right here. You double click that, open it up, and you have to go to permissions, and then to super admins, and then your super admin text. And this is where you put your Steam ID in. And it does. It has to look just one, depending on if you're giving somebody else one. I've got 4 people that have admin rights on mine. Then you have to go to credentials. Credentials is where you put your password. Everything there'll be something else completely written in here. Just highlight the entire thing, backspace it so it's not there, so your cursor is actually just right there at the very corner. Type in your password, click save. Don't forget to click save after you put your stuff in on anything. Always remember to click save. But you put your password in, click save, and then close it. Reboot your server. And then when you press end, it's going to open up the VPP admin tools, and it's going to immediately ask you for a password. That's the password that you wrote in here. That's what you're going to need. If you're using Zomberry tools, okay, this is a log for every time that Zomberry gets used. If you have the log files turned on, it's going to log every time it's been used. It's going to write something about it, and this has gotten quite extensively long, so I'm just going to get rid of it so you don't have to see it all. You won't have it in there. It just lists whoever uses it. It gives you their Steam ID and tells you what they did with Zomberry. This is what you're gonna see in there though, in Zomberry. Now, remember we're in the config folder. My config don't look the same. Well, I guess it does, but I'm not going to go there because I know it doesn't have all the information. Okay, this is what you're going to see, and you're going to go to Zomberry, admin config, and you're going to put your Steam ID right there. The same way as you do for VPP. And if you put somebody else's, it goes right below it. No spaces, no commas, nothing. Just like that. You click save. And that's it with that one. You have no password for that one. When you go reboot your server and go back into game, you'll press O. When you press O, it's going to open up Zomberry. And you can change those keys in your game options. Okay, we're in. The truck I spawned in is gone. I hope somebody grabbed it. That might have despawned too, because I don't have it in the spawnable types. That's known to happen. If you don't have it in your spawnable types and just in your types file, you can spawn it in and run away from it and come back, it'll be gone. That's why spawnable types is needed. But I want to show you the if you press end, if you're using VPP admin tools, you'll press the end button on the keyboard and it'll open this up, and you'll need to put your password in right there. I have forgot my password. You only get 6 tries, and after 6 tries you have to restart the server and exit the game. You can't just exit to the quit screen. You can't just exit to the screen. If you're using Zomberry tools, it's a lot simpler. It's just pressed O, and there it is. You're in. Over here it'll list your name and anybody else that's on the server. If you got 50 people on here on the server, you're going to have 50 names there. And you can click on them and mess with them. You can kill them, bite them, strip them, induce vomiting, induce laughter, induce sneeze, set their health or set their blood. Or if they have an item in their hand that's ruined, you can click repair item in hands, and it'll repair the item in their hand. Refuel and repair is for a vehicle that you spawn in. If you spawn in a spawn menu, go down here to the bottom in the search, and you can just type in one that's easy for me is the VBL General Defense, and you can see it's just it's the frame of the vehicle. It's missing everything. Now if you use VPP admin tools, when you spawn a vehicle in by its full name, it will be all put together, and might even have stuff in the trunk if it's set up correctly. But it will be put together, fueled and ready to go. This one is not. So you go back to your admin and you just click, you look at it and you click refuel and repair, and it's going to fill it. It's going to give it everything that it can have and more. And see if I remember how to do this. It's right there. See, it didn't put the barrel in there, but it put a toolbox, field transmitter, and that can be a backpack. You can actually put a backpack in there. On the BPL, different vehicles, different stuff. But now I can jump in it and go. It is completely fueled. It's got all the water in it. It's ready to run. Once you have the expansion pack installed with the vehicles, you'll be able to spawn in helicopters. Stuff like that. But I'm going to cut it there and see if I can edit that quick.